This is probably one of the most disturbing and evil cases that you have ever heard of. The happenings of this particular event left law enforcement in absolute disgust and instilled fear throughout the community. Was this really a case of mental illness, or was it all a lie? Ronnie Oneal, then 29, and his 33-year-old girlfriend Kenyatta Barron lived in Tampa, Florida, with their 2 children. One was a 9-year-old daughter who was disabled, and the other was an 8-year-old son. At 11:43 p.m., the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office responded to a call from Oneal's home. It was Oneal's girlfriend saying that she had been shot. In the background, Ronnie Oneal could be heard yelling out Allah Akbar, Arabic for God is great. At 11:51 p.m., the police received another call, but this time from Ronnie himself. He said that he had been attacked by some white demons who had taken over his girlfriend.
Hey, I just been attacked by some white demons.
She shot him and tried to murder him, but he executed her instead. 2 minutes before Oneal called 911, the police arrived. They found Kenyatta lying on the sidewalk near her residence. She was face down and unresponsive. At this time, the police determined that she had passed away. As the police were looking around, they noticed some light appearing from inside the house. When they realized it was a fire, they forced entry into the house. At the exact same time, the garage door opened and Ronnie exited. He slowly strolled toward the police officers, and he refused to obey commands to stop and get on the ground. Eventually, the police tasered him and placed him under arrest. The 8-year-old boy was found in a truly horrific state, and it was obvious that he was in a lot of pain. He sustained stab wounds to his neck, chest, abdomen, and various other parts of his body during the attack. He was also found to have burn marks covering up to 30% of his body. When he got to the first responders, the first thing that he said was that his father had shot his mother. He was then taken to the hospital where he received treatment immediately. The heinous acts which resulted in these executions left question marks on the mental health history of Oneal. During the investigation, conflicting reports were found. According to Oneal, he has never been diagnosed or treated for any mental illness. It was also revealed that Oneal was violated and abused as a young boy and never received any treatment for the trauma he suffered. Following these discoveries, mental health clinicians determined that he was incompetent to stand trial and that they've changed their minds. According to his son, police officers, and evidence discovered, Ronnie Oneal shot his girlfriend with a shotgun. She was able to call 911 while escaping from the house, but Ronnie chased after her and ended up repeatedly beating her with the gun until she was lifeless. He then turned his anger towards the children. He stabbed his daughter with an axe and went on to stab his son with a knife. After that, Ronnie proceeded to set the children on fire using gasoline. In 2021, when Ronnie was 32 years old, he decided to represent himself in the double murder trial. The judge tried to warn him that this was a bad idea, but the judge let him do it since he insisted. She found that he was mentally fit and educated enough, and he understood the consequences of his actions. As he gave his opening statement, he mostly yelled at the jury while looking straight at them. He was also walking around the courtroom very agitated. According to Oneal, the evidence would reveal some of the most vicious, lying, and false government that you have ever seen. He then went on to say, "I might seem alone, but I am backed by an almighty God.
I look alone, but I am backed by a mighty God."
He even accused the police of encouraging his son to testify against him with false statements. According to Oneal, his girlfriend attacked the children, and that's why he was forced to execute her in self-defense. This was also according to his 911 call. Oneal said, "The evidence will show that I love my children. The evidence will not show that my son beat his mom to death, nor did he witness me shoot his mom. In fact, he didn't witness much at all. During the hearing, Oneal called a few witnesses on his behalf. However, what really stood out was the cross-examination of his son, who was now 11 years old. It was done through a video call as his son did not come to the courtroom. Among other things, Oneal asked his son, "Did I hurt you that night?" His son responded with a simple yes.
Did I hurt you that night?
Yes.
Oneal then asked how, and the son said, "You stabbed me."
And how did I hurt you?
You stabbed me.
However, Oneal's son indicated that he did not really see him shoot or beat his mother. After all this, it was time for the closing argument. Just like during the opening statement, Oneal's behavior was filled with rage. The judge warned him about his foul language and outbursts that attacked the prosecutors. Oneal shouted at the prosecutors, saying, "I did kill Kenyatta Barron, but I want you to tell it as if you're going to tell it."
He didn't kill Kenyatta Barron, but I want you to tell it like it is.
Isn't that a confession all on its own? He tried to defend himself by saying that he executed her after she executed their daughter. He admitted to hitting Kenyatta 3 to 4 times, but he made the admission that he did not strike her 15 to 17 times as the state claimed. He also said that whoever caused the extra wounds on her face would pay. After just a few hours of deliberation, the jury found Ronnie guilty on all charges. He was charged with several offenses, including 2 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of attempted first-degree murder, and first-degree arson. There was a very emotional moment before Oneal received his sentence as Carrie Lloyd, Kenyatta's mother, gave her testimony. She said that Oneal stole angels from the family, including his daughter, who had special needs and could not speak properly. She also said that she was disappointed with the jury's verdict, which was life in prison without the possibility of parole. Instead, she said that Oneal deserved nothing other than the death penalty. Oneal, shackled and dressed in a red inmate jumpsuit, also stood to speak. He began quietly, saying, "I am not sorry for something I didn't do." Then he began shouting, saying, "And I am not sorry for the things I did."
I am not sorry for something I didn't do, and I am not sorry for the things I did do.
The judge warned and told him that he would have to be removed from the courtroom if he yelled again. He lowered his voice, saying, "But I will say I'm sorry for your loss. Everybody wants to point fingers and play the blame game without knowing the actual facts.
But I will say I'm sorry for your loss."
Before the judge gave the sentence, she said, 19 years I've been on this job. I've seen human beings executed at the hands of others in every way imaginable. But this is without a doubt the worst case I've ever seen as far as the facts go.
19 years I've been at this job. I've seen human beings killed at the hands of others in every way imaginable. This is the worst case I have ever seen as far as the facts go.
She then recalled the testimony of the firefighter who carried the daughter out of the house. All this time, she focused her attention on the details surrounding the daughter's death. At one point, she even became visibly emotional. Eventually, she handed down her sentence. She sentenced Ronnie to 3 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole for the 2 murder charges and 1 attempted murder charge. She also sentenced Oneal to 30 years for arson and 30 years for each of the 2 aggravated child abuse charges. This was a total of 90 years on top of the life sentences. Oneal's boy was later adopted by one of the homicide detectives working on the case. What are your thoughts on this case?